Hold up, is this live already? What in the world? Hold on. I didn't even get a chance to. What? Is it already streaming? What in the world? Alright, let's see here. If anybody's watching this, if I'm already live and recording, I'm sorry. This was I didn't plan on starting just yet, but it's okay. Hold up, is this? It is recording. Holy cow. Okay, 4 people watching. All right, let me get hold of myself. All right. Holy cow. First, turn my phone on silent. Okay. All right. So, what's up, Mindy? How are you? Myra, wow. What's up, Alan? Alan Powell. I can't believe he still watches my channel. All right. Yes, you're live. No worries. Okay, perfect. All right. Well, the thing is, I didn't really have any. I didn't plan on going live tonight. None of this was planned. So what happened was I was walking my dogs earlier. You know what? Let me take my hat off. Right? Let's let my hair down. Right? Let's just. Uh, anyways, my room's not clean anyway, so it doesn't matter if I threw my hat. Okay, so here's what happened. I have a pretty busy schedule. I mean, I've been working weekends. This weekend coming up, actually, I'm working Saturday and Sunday, and then I got a full week after that. So I've just been really busy. But it's good. I'm not complaining. I feel so lucky, especially because I know what's going on right now, and a lot of people are losing their jobs and things like that. And so I feel extremely lucky, and I'm just been tired, And so I was walking my dogs earlier, and I got a text message from my client tomorrow, and she told me that if we can, she would really like to reschedule because her dogs were going through some things, and I told her no problem, But the thing is, though, the earliest I can get them back on my schedule is March 9th, and it's a Tuesday, and so she said, that'll work perfect. So got it rescheduled for next month. um, and the thing is, I even just earlier today, I messaged somebody back and let them know I'm really sorry. I can't take anybody else on my schedule. I'm already working 7 days a week, and I just don't have time. Earlier today, even at my client's house, the housekeeper, okay, because I was working, right, and there was two women, they were the housekeepers, and one of the ladies, she walked by me, and I said, "Oh, excuse me," and she goes, "It's okay," and I was like, I didn't say sorry. I just said, excuse me. But anyways, and then she was checking, the laundry and things like that. And then she walked by me again. And as she was walking by me, I said, "Hey, don't forget all this dog hair." And the thing is, when I tried to tap her, I was like, "Hey, don't forget all this." She's like, "Oh no!" And she just kind of shoved me off and walked away. I don't know what she was thinking I was gonna do. But anyways, I thought it was hilarious. But then the other lady, she started laughing, and I picked up the dog and I went out there, stuck my head out there. I was like, I hope she knows I was just joking. I was just kidding. I was like, I just told her, don't forget all this dog hair here, And I was like, but I'm kidding. I'll clean it up. And she translated it to her friend, and I guess her friend didn't really speak much English. So, anyways, um, but they asked me if I had a business card because they always have people asking them if they have a groomer. And I told them I don't carry business cards. I really can't take any more clients. So the question, somebody, a natural question would be, well, if you have the day off tomorrow, why not call one of those people back or message one of those people back and, take on a new client tomorrow? Well, because I see the same people every month, and just because I have open days next month doesn't really mean they're open. It just means that I haven't taken the time to actually plug those people in those dates. So really, if I put a new client on my schedule tomorrow, just because I have an unexpected day available, the problem is if we wanted to reschedule, where do I put them? Right? Because I see everybody every month, and some months, because of the rotation, it gets really packed. So that's why tomorrow, even though I have the day off, I really can't, put a new client on there And all my regular clients, they're already scheduled, and so that's why I have a day off tomorrow. And that's why earlier I was literally like, oh my God, I couldn't keep my eyes open. I was like trying to, walk my dogs and do all this stuff. And I was just thinking, I need to get some sleep. But then all of a sudden, as soon as I found out I had the day off tomorrow, oh man, I feel so energetic. Oh my goodness. I want to do some jumping jacks or something. Grab me a hula hoop. If anybody has a hula hoop available, let me do that for a few minutes. Anyways, I'm just up now. I'm just like, whoa. So excited, like just thinking, what can I do tomorrow? I can do whatever I want. I can walk my dogs in the morning. Well, I do that anyways, but I can walk them in the afternoon. I can go to the archery range and practice my. Okay, so let's talk about that for a little bit. I've been getting really big into traditional archery, and that has really helped my self-confidence. And let me explain. I was always an insecure kid. I was always introverted. The reason why I love spending time with my dogs out in the woods, because that's all I did when I was a kid. That's my happy place. I didn't really have a lot of friends. I was always kind of like just a weirdo, and I still am. I still am a weirdo. I say some things like, because I think it's hilarious, but then I say it out loud and I realize, maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I'm getting better. But anyways, where am I going with all this? Okay, so becoming better at traditional archery, right? Shooting the arrow. It was probably about 3 weeks ago when this first happened. I was at the archery range, and when I go to the archery range, there's only a few here in Georgia at state parks. You got to drive out to the boonies, so it's about an hour drive for me. A little more than an hour for the one up north. There's one down south that takes me about an hour. But anyways, when I get to the archery range, I drove over an hour there. I'm sitting there shooting, practicing, trying to get better. And about 3 weeks ago, everything just kind of clicked. And I was starting to like really hit the mark, right? And there was one round where all the arrows pretty much went where I wanted them to go. And I was so happy and so proud of myself. I literally jumped up and I was just thinking like, oh, I wish there was someone here I could high five, right? Someone to share this moment with. So then I pulled out my phone and I was about to take a picture of it and then take a picture of myself, do a selfie as well. To brag. I wasn't even gonna be subtle about it. No humble brag. No humble brag for me. I was just gonna outright brag. To get that validation, right? To get that, oh wow, look at you, to get those endorphins, those no, it's not what is it? Dopamine. That dopamine hit, right? And then I remembered like this thought came into my mind. Aren't you enough? That was the thought. That was the question that popped up in my head. Aren't you enough? And I just thought about it for a second, and then the voice in my head continued on, and it said, "Isn't you improving and getting better and feeling proud of yourself? Isn't that enough? Do you need others to validate you in order for this moment to feel more complete?" Right? And then the voice asked me, the voice in my head, right? And maybe it's myself talking to myself, but I asked myself, when will I ever be enough? Why not choose right now, this moment? How about starting right now? I'm going to make myself enough. And I didn't post it. And I was so proud of myself. And that has happened a few times now since then, about dogs that I groomed, about things that I've been doing. And I just told myself, well, on my birthday, it was my birthday last weekend, and I just kind of gave myself a pass. And I was posted on social media and Instagram because it was my birthday, I just felt like it's my birthday. I'll cry if I want to, right? And I guess maybe after that, after I gave myself a pass, I've been posting a little bit more, and maybe I need to just calm down a little bit again. But yeah, I just remember thinking like, maybe that's what I was struggling with my whole life, right? Is needing to feel like others accepted me, others liked me. I wanted that so badly because I didn't have it for myself. I never felt like I was enough. I never felt like I was good enough. I never felt like I was worthy of people, giving me any kind of praise or anything. And I even now, when people give me lots of praise and everything, I feel uncomfortable. And yeah, so when I was younger, I remember even in high school, I went to a private school, a Christian school, because I thought I was going to be a pastor. And I remember the most popular kid in school, he was the RA, the residence assistant. So he was like, we had a dean for the boys' dorm, and like he's basically the dean's assistant, right? And so they get privileges while everybody else has to be in their room at night, sleeping, lights off. The residence assistant, the RA, gets to walk around and make sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. So they're like the sheriff, I guess, or the deputy, right? And he was also like one of the most popular kids in the school. I mean, girls were all over him. The guys loved him. He played sports the best. He was good looking, charismatic. If you're watching this, Matt Schaefer, he was like my best friend and my idol at the same time. I remember he would come into my room late at night, and no funny business like that. He would come into my room with some beer and so. No, I'm kidding. No, he would just come into my room and we would talk, and I would love to cook. Even when I was a kid, I would love to cook. So I would always have some Korean like ramen and eggs and just things in my room that I can cook. And so I would cook some ramyeon, and I don't know why, but Korean ramyeon, the spicy ramen noodles, they taste so good around midnight. And so we would eat that and talk, and I just remember thinking to myself, man, what I wouldn't give to be him, to feel what it was like to be him and walk into a place and just have everyone's eyes on you and everyone wants to talk to you and you're just, everybody loves you and, like so popular and adored and accepted and loved. And I was like, to be him, to feel that, oh, what I wouldn't give, right? Just for a moment even. And then I think it was about 5 years ago, I had a dream. And I've had several dreams that really made an impact on me, and this was one of them. So in my dream, this is as my YouTube channel was growing. I think I had about 20,000 subscribers at that time. And I remember I was getting offers from companies outside of the grooming industry, which was to me a pretty big deal, because it wasn't just grooming industry, like the companies that are within the grooming industry and picking groomers to be their ambassadors and things like that. It wasn't just like that. It was like companies that were mainstream, like outside the grooming industry contacted me, and I was getting offers and things like that, and I was just like, whoa, But of course, I didn't want to take offers just to try to make more money or get more. I don't know. I wanted to try to keep it pure. I wanted to try to keep this channel, to be helpful, with that intention only, right? And I had a dream one night, and I was in a huge mansion, rooms everywhere. I mean, this was a huge mansion, a castle kind of, and land, and everyone was pulling me in every direction. I was being pulled from room to room, and every room had a different dog set up on a grooming table, and people were sitting there waiting for me to do a demonstration and asking me questions, but then I wouldn't even be able to finish one demonstration before I'm being pulled into another room after room, and people just all over me asking me questions, wanting to take pictures and everything, and I felt so overwhelmed. I started shaking in my dream because I'm an introvert at heart, which is why I feel more comfortable just talking into a screen like this rather than in front of a room full of people. I freeze. And so I couldn't handle it. And then I remember looking out the window and I saw my two daughters. And at that time, they were 7 and 5 and 7. Beautiful age. They were wearing white dresses. I remember this. I looked out the window and my two daughters were sitting out there in the lawn, immaculate lawn. But they were sitting out there in white dresses. They were waiting for me. I could tell they were waiting for Daddy. And I wanted to get to them so badly, but I couldn't. Because I had so many people, I was being pulled in every direction. And all I wanted was to be with them. All I wanted was to get out that window somehow and go to my daughters and be with them, but I couldn't. And I woke up that morning, and I think that's when I realized maybe that's not what I want. Maybe that's what I thought I wanted, because I had such little love and appreciation for myself. I was looking for it from others, and that's why I thought I wanted that. But my dream showed me that I didn't, because I think that somebody with the more, Matt Schaefer, if Matt was in that situation, I think he would have handled it perfectly, and I think he probably would have thrived in that situation because he's used to it. But with me, it overwhelmed me, and I felt miserable. I felt trapped, and I realized I am an artist. That's the contract I made with myself years ago when I first decided to become a dog groomer. I told myself, I am an artist. I'm going to commit to being an artist. And that means that I don't really care to be rich. you know? Okay, wow, people are actually commenting. What's up, Myra, APEA Dog Grooming? What's up? Oh, let it loose. Nice. Thank you. I will. Let's see. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Foot and mouth syndrome. Yeah, I do all the time. Oh my goodness. So the thing is, even what I mean to say is, what's troubling you? But what I will actually say sometimes is, what's wrong with you? And it hits different. It's like there's a really big difference between asking somebody, "Hey, what's troubling you?" Or asking them, "Hey, what's wrong with you?" Right? And so the thing is, sometimes with the best intentions, I offend people. Let's see. Cassandra Negri says, "Hi, June. I want to thank you for making the video mentioning my favorite groomer. I have been able to look past some judgments I was holding to see past them and who she really is. Her heart is good and she has amazing confidence. I also appreciate your honesty and sharing your journey." You're welcome. You know what? Let's just talk candidly. I'm just going to talk candidly here. I made that video after I talked with her, and she contacted me, worried about David, a mutual friend of ours, not her ex. I didn't even know she had an ex named David, really. But anyways, we have a mutual friend named David. He was originally her fan, and he followed her channel. Then he found my channel, and then, game over, right? I mean, I'm kidding. Anyways, she was concerned about him. That's how we started talking. And then I found out that she's getting death threats, and people were saying some very mean things to her and everything. So for me, my reflex, my gut reaction is always to protect. And people people contacted me. They're like, "June, you shouldn't have made that video. You should have just left it alone. You should have stayed away from it." And so then I made another video explaining why I felt the need to protect her or stand up for her. At least just, let people know, like, hey, you may not like her, but you don't have to threaten her life, right? And the video I made explaining why I felt the need to do that was because, and I just gave an example of when I was managing my parents' grocery store downtown in the West End. It was a rough neighborhood. The people there were beautiful, though. I mean, I love the people that lived there. We became like family. But one day, I looked at the camera and I saw in my parking lot a gentleman hitting a woman with a stick, like beating her with a stick. So I ran out there and I was like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa!" And, like trying to hold the stick back, and I was like, "You can't do that here." I was like, "You can't do this." And he told me, "You don't know what she did." He said it a little bit more forcefully with some expletives. But he basically told me, "You don't know what she did. This is none of your business." And I told him, "You're right. I don't know what she did. And for all I know, maybe she deserves this. I don't know. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. But you can't do this here. This is my parking lot. This is my business." I was like, "You just can't do this here." So, I was like, and, like, I don't know, maybe she stole his last crack rock. I don't know. But maybe she deserves it, right? Who knows? But I was just like, I can't allow you to do this in front of me. I can't. I have to stop it. And that's the same thing with Dee Dee. It's like, maybe she deserves it. I don't know. But when it came to my attention and I saw it, I had to do something, right? I had to stop it. Then, and I'll just be honest. Then I hope people understand where I'm coming from. Um, the thing is, like, she sent me a face mask, right? And I told her thank you. And then she started texting me one night, asking me to take a picture of a selfie with me wearing her face mask to send it to her. And I told her, okay, I'll do it later. I'm not really feeling great that today because my cousin's boyfriend was living with us at that time last year when the pandemic hit. We were all quarantined, and he and I didn't get along, and we got in a really big argument, and I had enough with him, and I was not in a good mood. And whenever you have like family issues, right? Just not in a good place, emotionally, mentally, or anything. So I told her, I'm having some personal issues right now. I had an argument with a family member, and I'm not in a good mood. But she wouldn't let it go. And she kept texting me, come on, just send it to me. Take a picture and just send it. And I was like, I just kind of ignored it. And then she texted me in all caps, like, send me a pic now. I'm about to go live. I'm about to stream live. Send it to me now. And so I texted her back. I'm telling you right now, I'm not in a good mood. I already told you that. And I told her, I was like, Dee, I don't want to be angry at you. Please leave me alone. And then that was it. That was the last communication we had, right? Then I clicked on a video that said, is this the end of my favorite groomer? And in that video, I saw some things, and I had feelings like it just kind of gave me a weird TV evangelist vibe, and it felt like she was upset with people for not sending her enough money to support her. And I don't know, it just felt, so I got a very weird vibe from that video. And I kind of started feeling like, I feel like maybe a lot of these things that she does, she's doing it for the shock effect, and some of the videos where I watch her, she is really rough, sometimes unnecessarily rough with those dogs. And so I didn't want to delete those videos because I said what I said and I meant it at the time. I did believe it. And I was also worried that she might get her feelings hurt, or feel bad or offended or something if I delete those videos. So then I talked to my friend Janine, and because I value her opinion, she's always straight up with me. She lets me know when I'm messing up. And I just asked her for her opinion. I was like, Janine, this is what's going on. This is how I'm feeling. And somebody commented that week, like just a day or two before I talked with Janine, another comment saying, June, you should have stayed away from this. And so I was telling Janine, like, I don't know. What do you think? I was like, do you think it'll hurt her feelings or really be a bad idea to delete it? Should I not delete it? Should I leave it alone? And Janine told me, June, she was like, you're allowed to change your opinion about someone based on their behavior. She's like, you're totally allowed to do that. And she was like, most people probably won't even ask about it, And I was like, you're right. I am allowed to change my opinion of someone. And I don't think she's a bad person or, anything like that. It's just that I don't know if I feel the same way anymore, especially after watching that video. I don't know. It just felt manipulative. It kind of felt ungrateful for the support that she was already getting, and almost making the people who do support her channel feel guilty, for not doing enough for her or something. I don't know. It just rubbed me the wrong way, to be completely honest. And so I just I deleted it. I deleted that stream I did, talking about my personal experience with Dee, my favorite groomer. And then I deleted the other video explaining why I felt the need to, I just kind of deleted everything. I unsubscribed to her because honestly, I was getting notifications from her channel like several times a day. And I don't really have time to watch all of those videos. And, so it started to become a little bit of a nuisance for me. And so I just deleted the channel. And I mean, not the channel. Deleted the videos, and then I unsubscribed to her channel. And I just decided I'm just going to leave it at that from now on, and just allow her to be who she is, right? And that's it, But that's that. Sorry, I kind of got. I really wasn't expecting to talk about it, but since it came up, and it looks like Cassandra is a good, pretty big fan of Dee Dee's. I know she has very dedicated fans, and if this causes some of her fans to dislike me or get angry at me, so be it. I have to express my truth, right? I have to say what's honestly in my heart, right? Let's see here. Okay, Cassandra says, the universe delivered you a magnificent answer through a dream to an internal question. Yes, that dream, yeah, exactly. It really helped me realize that maybe I don't want to be famous. Maybe I don't want to be like what I thought. I want to be an artist, and I want to help people because it really makes me feel, and I'll admit it, it's completely self-serving. It's not like I'm some selfless saint or something. I love helping people just out of goodness in my heart, even if I don't really want to, and it's just a burden I carry. No. I love helping people because it makes me feel so freaking good about myself. I feel so good about myself, and it's totally selfish, I get a rush. I feel like I matter when I feel like I've been helpful to someone, and so that's why I do it. Okay, I'm sorry. It's selfish in nature, but yeah, it's like I realize I want to continue to help people because it makes me feel great to do it. It makes me feel like my existence means something, and I want to continue creating art, whether it's the bows that I make from now on. I've been making some bows. Oh my goodness! Let me show you this one bow I made out of a out of a PVC pipe. Oh my good, because I have a laptop. I could just carry it with me, because oh my goodness. Did I just cut it off? Oh, no, I didn't. So I've been wanting to try out the Mongolian, the Asiatic, the horse bow style bows. So check this out. I freaking made myself one. That's duct tape. That's PVC pipe and duct tape. But it's a powerful bow. This pulls about maybe 50 pounds, right? So this is a freaking powerful bow. But I made it. I took the string off. Anyways. But yeah, I also made a couple of wooden bows. The first one broke when I was actually stringing it for the first time. Second one broke after about 300 arrows. Man, it broke my heart. You know what? Let me show you that bow that I made too. Oh man, I saved it. Left it in the closet. So here is the bow that I made. The wooden bow that I made. Wooden longbow. And it broke right there. You see that? Broke my heart, really, what it broke. But anyways, I'm going to keep this forever because it does have such a sentimental value. I worked so hard on this bow. Look at that. That's the arrow rest right there I cut in. I worked so hard on this. I painted it even. But anyways, so whether it's the bows that I make, oh my goodness. So this is a vintage bow that I got off of eBay. So it was my birthday, February 8th, and I found this on eBay. A gentleman was selling this vintage bow. So this bow was made in 1970 by Shakespeare, a company called Shakespeare. It's called the Yukon. It's a one-piece wooden bow. See that? Isn't that awesome? And I actually shot this a few times, and it works awesome. But yeah, so I won that for $49 on eBay. So here's what happened. I saw that bow on eBay. A gentleman was selling it, and the starting bid was $45. I was like, what? So I bid $45. And then somebody else bid, a few days later, somebody else bid $46. So then I raised it to $47. And then when I was driving my daughters back up to Tennessee, they spent a week with me to celebrate my birthday. And while we were driving back up to Tennessee, I get a notification that I've been outbid. And the auction was ending in about an hour and 40 minutes. And so it's $48. So I told my daughter Ava, who's 12 now, I was like, you know what, Ava? I was really hoping to get this as a birthday present for myself, but I don't want to spend too much money, I would feel guilty if I spent too much money on myself. So I told my daughter Ava, I was like, do you think I should bid one more time, $49? And Ava was like, yeah, I mean, why not? And so I was like, all right. So I bid one more time, 49 bucks. And I told my daughter, if the other guy bids 50, he can have it. I was like, I'm not going past 50. And I won. I was like, oh my God, I felt like I won the lottery. Seriously, because that bow right there is actually worth maybe 150 bucks. Really, I mean, it's a piece of history and it works. So anyways, yeah, I got it yesterday. It came in the mail yesterday. And so today I took it out and shot it a little bit. Oh my goodness. Anyways, but yeah, I told myself, I am an artist. That's who I am. That's what makes me feel alive. And that's the contract I made with myself. And in that contract, there was no mention of becoming famous or becoming rich. That's just not part of the plan for me. Um, let's see here. Mindy says, why do my clippers get impacted with Lhasa Apso, but not with my Shih Tzu? Aren't they the same type of hair? Yeah. But the thing is, every dog is on a different like hair cycle. Every hair has a life cycle. What is it? The catagen, the telogen cat, anagen, telogen, catagen, right? Or something. No, catagen. Anyways, so hair has life cycles, right? And so the Lhasa Apso that you've been grooming may just have a thicker undercoat, may have more undercoat hair, those finer hairs, secondary hairs, and those tend to really pile up and pack in those clippers, especially around this time of year. So Mindy, you may have noticed, especially in January last month, most of the dogs were matted and they were tangled up. They were pretty thick, right? That's because in December 21st to be specific, the shortest day of the year, once the daylight changes, the dogs, their skin takes that as the cue to change their coat. Because we change our clothes, our outfit, according to the weather change every season. Dogs, because they grow their clothes out of their skin, they it would be ridiculous to think they would wear the same clothes all year long, right? Just like us, they need fresh clothes to stay clean. But they can't literally change their clothes like we do. They don't change out of it. They change their clothes by getting rid of the older hairs that are damaged or dead, or and by getting rid of those and replacing it with new hair for the new season. That's how they stay fresh. Even long-haired dogs. The short-haired dogs, you'll see that hair all over the floor. Long-haired dogs, because it's long and it's fine, and the hairs that come up under it sometimes, they're not going to be strong enough to push those older hairs out like the short-haired dogs. So that's why with the longer-haired dogs, Shih Tzus, Lhasas, Katans, Bijans, Poodles, all of them, they need a lot of combing. They need extra combing and brushing during those times of year, those transition times whenever the season changes. So that's why in January, in July, and then sometimes in the spring and fall as well, I use a 10 blade rather than a 30 blade. A 30 blade is shorter, a little bit shorter, like a millimeter shorter than the 10 blade. But the 30 blade, for me at least, tends to catch on their coat, and it just doesn't go through well. It starts to pull the hair rather than cut it clean, because there's so many of those fine dead hairs that almost look invisible individually. And those are the hairs that get caught up in between the blades and starts causing the clippers to catch. But for some reason, because the 10 blade has that extra length, a little bit extra length, it is able to cut the hairs and not have it catch up in the blades. But you still have to be careful with that too. Every once in a while, you have to clear out some of the hair that gets built up in between the teeth, the cutting blade and the teeth of those, the 10 blade too. But yeah, and you know what though? I noticed yesterday even, I was able to use the 30 blade again on the 2 doodles that I did. I did 2 doodles yesterday. I did a Maltese today. And yeah, I was able to, no, the Maltese, I had to use the 10 blade. The Maltese today because the 30 blade was catching. But I bet you next month when I go back and groom him, I'll be able to use the 30 blade again in order to go right through smoothly. It's just that time of year. Okay. APEA dog grooming. Wow, you're lucky to have had that dream. I think it was at the right time for you in your life. Thank you. I do feel lucky that I had that dream because had I lived the rest, like, had I chased that dream, not that dream, but the dream that I had for myself to become famous, I literally wrote that in my journal too. I wanted to become famous. I wanted to, I thought that was going to make me happy. I thought, and that's the thing. There is no way to happiness. Happiness is the way, right? That's what Buddha says. And I always kept pushing off happiness to a future date. Not today. I'm not going to be happy today. I'm not going to accept myself and feel like I'm enough today because I'm not, right? I'm imperfect, so imperfect. And I'm not going to accept myself until I'm perfect. I won't accept anything less than perfect for myself. And the joke is, no one's ever going to be perfect. I'm never going to be perfect. So that means that I would have never accepted myself because that time would have never come, right? The moment would have never been perfect enough for me to love myself and accept myself. So, that's the joke. So if I understand the joke and I get the punchline, well then maybe I can just accept and love myself today for who I am, the good and the bad. Mostly bad, but it's all right, right? And maybe by me accepting myself fully for who I am, the good and the bad, right? Not needing to be perfect and just accepting myself anyways, loving myself and being happy anyways, choosing happiness as the way. Maybe that will help inspire other people as well. They'll say, well, look at that guy. I'm obviously doing better than him and he accepts himself fully. What's my reason for not accepting myself, Shoot, look at June. Megan, oh no, that's Magzan Karabakov. Did I say that right? Magzan Karabakov. I think that's right. Yo, what's up? What's up, yo? Anyway, oh my goodness. Okay, so another little tangent. Wearing bracelets and stuff like that, and wearing a necklace these days. This has lavender inside there. That little jar right there has lavender essential oil. Anyways, I've always wanted to wear jewelry, but I've never been into the shiny, blingy kind of jewelry. That was never my style. My style was always beads, earth tones, freaking arrow bracelet, right? Because I'm an archer. Anyways, these are things that I love. It excites me. It makes me feel good. But I always avoided wearing anything like bracelets or anything out in public because I was afraid of people ridiculing me, making fun of me, pointing and saying, "Look at him," wearing all, I was ashamed of that. So I would, anytime I would wear it in the house when I'm by myself, but then when I go out in public, I would take it all off because I didn't want anybody to make fun of me. Maybe that's why I have no tattoos. I don't know. But again, becoming more confident in myself because of archery, really, because I've been getting really better in that moment where I wanted to share it with everyone. I wanted to get everyone's validation. Yeah, June, you did a good job. I almost felt like I needed that. That helped me realize, when am I ever going to be enough for me? I'm never going to be enough for you, and I'll never be enough for everyone. That's okay. I can at least be enough for me, right? And that's the thing is like, there's another joke that life, I feel like the universe, God has a sense of humor, because that's the other joke. You're never going to be enough for everyone. No one is ever going to be enough for everyone. But you can at least be enough for you. And I can at least be enough for me, right? Let's see. Magzan Karabakov says, do a handstand. No, that's my OnlyFans account. On my other account, you can tell me to do handstands and stuff and pay me money and I'll do it. I'm kidding. I don't have an OnlyFans account, but hey, if I feel like the demand is there, who knows? What's to stop me, right? APEA dog grooming says, agree to disagree on is such a powerful statement. Yes. You do you, and I respect that. It's not for me, so I'm gonna go. Okay, same thing with traditional archery. I'm in a lot of traditional archery groups now on Facebook, and sometimes some of the guys tend to make fun of other archers, like archers that use a compound bow or even a crossbow. Oh my god, you should hear some of the stuff that the bare bow use traditional archers. You should hear some of the stuff they say about people who shoot crossbows. Anyways, it's like there's a lot of people though in those groups that will kind of, address that. They will say, "Hey, be respectful of other archers." It's like we should really be supportive of other archers, because at the end of the day, we're all doing what we love, and we're shooting arrows and we're trying to hit the mark and become more mentally focused, right? And it's okay if somebody chooses to shoot a crossbow or a compound bow or one of those Olympic style bows with all those gizmos and gadgets on it. If somebody really likes the bare bow, and I love shooting bare bows and traditional archery because I love the simplicity and the honesty of it. It just attracts me, it calls to me. But I'm not going to say that somebody who uses all those gadgets and puts all those, things on their bows and sights to help them become more precise and more accurate, I'm not going to say they're wrong or they shouldn't do that, right? Same thing with dog grooming. Just because I groom a certain way doesn't mean that somebody else who doesn't groom the way I do doesn't mean they're wrong, right? We should respect everybody, because at the end of the day, what we all want is the same thing. We want to make the dogs feel better, be more comfortable. We want to serve the client, right? We want to make sure the pet owner's happy, right? That's what we want. We love dogs and we want to take care of them. So at the end of the day, we're all trying to do the same thing. It doesn't matter if somebody's doing it a different way. As long as they're not harming the dog, that's where I draw the line. Once you're actually hurting the dog, and especially if it's intentional, you're doing it on purpose, that's where I draw the line. First name, last name. Wow, you're racist. Maybe I am. Yeah, maybe I am. My father, I come from a racist dad. He is really racist. Oh my God. So I have a racist dad story. When I was in Chambly working out of my house, we built the den of that house that we were renting. We turned it into a grooming area, and that's where I ran my business out of. Anyways, my father was staying with us at the time and helping us watch the kids. And while I'm working, I hear my dad in the other room, "You Chinese, you Chinese, you Chinese." I was like, "What's going on out there? What?" So I open the door, and my dad's like, trying to make my daughters eat fruit and things like that. Korean grandparents, they're all about just forcing food down their grandkids' throat, because they want to feed them, Anyways, probably because the time period that my father came from, there was never enough food to eat and things like that. Things were really tough for them back in Korea during that time for my dad in the country. So I think food and feeding somebody is like, very like a really deep sign of affection for the older generation, like my father. And so he's trying to feed them, and they're like, "No, no, no, Harabaji, like, no, Grandpa, we're full, we don't want that." And he's like, you Chinese." So I was like, "Time out, Dad." I was like, "Please don't do that." I was like, "Please don't say that." I was like, "I appreciate you here helping with the kids, but don't say things like that, right?" I was like, "That's racist." My dad was like, "What? Say things like what? It's okay." He's like, Chinese people are. I was like, "Don't say it." And then I was like, I just gave him an example. I was like, "Okay, what if when I take my girls to the playground, there's a Chinese kid there, and my daughter's thinking that it's okay and it's funny because Grandpa did it. What if they say, 'You Chinese?'" And then my dad goes, "What's wrong with calling a Chinese person Chinese?" So I was like, "You know what? Forget it. There's no reasoning with this man. He's I think a Neanderthal would probably score higher on an IQ test than my father would." So I just said, "You know what? Forget it. Just don't say that." I was like, "Just do me a favor and don't say 'you Chinese.' Can you do that?" I was like, "Just don't say those words." And he was like, "All right, whatever." And I was like, "Okay, thank you." So I went back in, started working, right? And I didn't hear him say that again. So I was like, "Okay, perfect." Then we're eating dinner. We're at the dinner table, right? And my dad offers my daughter something to eat again, right? I forget which one it was even at the time, because this was years ago. But he offered one of my daughters, like, I don't know, cabbage or something, right? And my daughter's like, "No, no," right? He goes, you Japanese." I was like, wow, there's no getting through to this man. But the thing is, it taught me a really important lesson, because I busted out laughing. I just thought it was so ridiculous that he really didn't understand the concept of not being racist, right? And so I just cracked up because I just, the absurdity of this, it was just so absurd to me. I just didn't know what to do or what to say or anything. I just laughed. I just busted out laughing, right? And then my daughters laughed. Everybody laughed. And that taught me something. I was like, you know what? Maybe that's just the best way. It's just, don't ruin the joke, right? Because had I challenged him and confronted him right there, hey, I thought I told you, don't say shit like that, Why are you fucking racist like that, it would have made the whole situation tense. It would have made it uncomfortable for everybody at the table, right? By laughing it off, whatever. And because I'm not going to change the man, he's not going to change, obviously, but also, so I took that lesson. I was walking my dogs, like during the pandemic last year. Or I mean, we're still in the pandemic, but when we were quarantined and everything, I was walking my dogs at the park pretty much all day long, going out several times. So I'm at the park, local park here, and I'm walking my dogs. And there's 3 kids riding their bicycles towards me. There was an older kid in front, there was a middle kid, and then the youngest kid in the back. And they look like brothers, and they actually were brothers, I found out. They're riding towards me, right? And then the one in the middle yells out while they're passing me, what did he say? Wuhan. That's what he said. Wuhan, as he was riding by me. So I turned around, and I remember I was about to say, what the fuck? Because I was angry. I mean, why would you shout Wuhan to me? I'm not Chinese. I'm not responsible for this coronavirus, So I turned around, and I think the oldest one saw my facial expression, because I don't hide my emotions. I can't. I don't have a poker face, So I wear my emotions right on my sleeve. Everybody knows exactly how I feel at all times. I can't hide it. So the oldest kid stopped, and then he goes uncomfortably. He goes, "I like your dogs," and so I took a deep breath because I realized this kid didn't do anything wrong. There's no reason for me to be upset with him. So I smiled. I took a deep breath because I had to let out the anger. And then I looked at him, I smiled, I said, "I like your bikes. Nice bikes." And he goes, "Thank you." And then we started talking about the dog. And then the youngest kid goes, "We have dogs too. They're behind us walking with our parents." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And then here comes the parents walking up, the hill towards us. And the first thought in my head that came up was, okay, here comes the racist parents. Let's have a word with them. And then the very next thought in my head was a simple question. How do you know that, though? How do I know that the parents are racist? How do I know that this kid didn't hear that from one of his friends and he just repeated it because he thought it was funny? Right? Because I know I curse a lot. I have a potty mouth. I'm ashamed of it sometimes. It's not my parents' fault. My parents don't talk like that, right? I can't blame that child's behavior on the parents, right? So I took a deep breath. And then as the parents came up, I was like, "Oh, nice dogs. We were talking with your kids and everything." And in the back of my head, I remember thinking, maybe I should tell them what their kid said. But then I told myself, no. Why do that? Why ruin the joke, right? And so we had a pleasant conversation. We all laughed. We all talked. And then we went our separate ways. And the middle kid that said Wuhan so rudely, you could see it. He was so uncomfortable. He knew he messed up. So there was no need for me to do anything further. He knew he messed up. And he saw how friendly I was being with everyone else, his whole family, And I think that by doing that, by not ruining the joke, right? I think that probably would have had a bigger impact on that kid than had I challenged him or confronted his parents, right? By just laughing it off and not ruining the joke, right? We had a great experience, and I think that probably did more to maybe get that kid to reconsider his behavior than had I reacted in anger, right? But yeah, first name, last name, you're probably right. I probably am a bit racist, but I'm working on it. Wow. Okay, let me see here. Bubba Longshaft is here. What's up, Bubba Longshaft? It's been a while. Got to be careful doing that. People are crazy. I talked about so much stuff right now. I don't even know what he's referring to. Cassandra Negri, it's okay to share. Thank you for more information on this. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for hanging out. I mean, really, I just felt so excited about my day off tomorrow. I can't sleep, so I was just like, you know what? Let's chat. Oh my goodness. So one of my client yesterday gave me this bottle of wine. It's from New Zealand. Her daughter's from New Zealand. Anyways, um, so I was like, wow, let me just enjoy some wine. Let me just hang out with some people and talk and chat. Get to know some people. I don't know, have some people get to know me better. But anyways, let's hang out. Let's chat. The grooming babe. Was this recent? I missed it. The grooming babe. No, it was last year during the during the quarantine. It was in March. I believe it was in March. 'Cause March 14th is when I remember I canceled all my appointments. I cleared my schedule, and for 2 weeks I just locked myself in the house. Well, no, not really. I took my dogs to the park to walk them every day. Um, Cassandra Negri, I will continue to watch her videos and try to use my intuition with her. I'm glad you let me know this information, June. You're welcome, Cassandra. But that's just my opinion. I'm not saying don't watch her or anything. I mean, get value from wherever you can find value, right? If you get value from watching her videos, by all means. For me, it just, it doesn't add to my life. Kimberly Wiley, I'm glad you shared this, June. Hugs from West Australia. Wow, from West Australia. Cheers. Bubba Longchef, who are we talking about again? Oh, okay, yeah. So that was my favorite groomer. Yeah, Dee Dee. Cassandra Nagy, nice bow. I am currently in a new job grooming for a large franchise. I have been having some struggles with the time management, as they need to get numbers through to be profitable. Cassandra, that's exactly why I can't work in a normal grooming shop. I tried. I think it was last year. No, it was 2 years ago, I believe. I was going to, stop doing my house call business and I was going to take a position as the salon lead. Like, I would be managing a salon for, I won't say the name, big box company. And the only reason why I even considered it was because they told me that as a salon lead, as the manager, I would be mentoring and teaching the other groomers, and I could run the shop the way I wanted to. It was my shop to run. That's what I was told. But then when I got there, of course, that wasn't the reality of the situation. I lasted one day. I didn't even last the whole day. I quit before the day was over. I talked to the manager. I was like, I can't do this. And she was like, no, you can, just give it at least a week. And I was like, no. I was like, a week and my clients will probably all be gone. I was like, I got to get right back to work. I was like, I got to contact my clients and say, just kidding. It was rough. But yeah, I just can't. And I realized it's because it's not that it's bad or good or anything like that. It's just sometimes you have to realize, what kind of chef are you? You have to decide that for yourself. What kind of chef are you? Or do you even want to be a chef? Or you do want to just be a line cook? At a busy fast food restaurant, which is nothing wrong with that. If you're a burger flipper at McDonald's, great. But that wouldn't make me happy. That wouldn't fulfill me. And that's just me. It's not saying I'm better or worse. I'm just saying, like, let's just say that let's say I'm a sushi chef. Sushi's my thing. That's my passion, right? And you put me in a pizza shop or a place that sells burgers and fries. I wouldn't be happy. And also, I might start to doubt myself and think that I'm not a good cook, right? It's not that I'm not a good cook or that's a bad restaurant. It's just that I'm the wrong chef for that restaurant. I'm just in the wrong restaurant, right? Same thing with grooming, Cassandra. You may just be an excellent chef, but in the wrong restaurant, Kimberly Wiley, love you. You're so happy and cheerful. Thank you, Kimberly. I really appreciate that. I mean, I really think happiness is a choice. We get to choose whether or not to be happy. It really is a choice. Let's see. APA dog grooming. I thought you meant bows as in dog grooming. No, I'm talking about Traditional archery, baby. A deadly weapon. um, Cassandra Negi, I am having to sacrifice proper brushing out and skin and coat care to be able to deliver on numbers. Exactly. Exactly. Do you have any tips for speeding up grooming without compromising skin health? Um, you're not going to like my suggestion. But my suggestion would be, I'm not an entrepreneur, Cassandra. I'm not an entrepreneur by nature. I'm not. Talking business strategies and tactics and everything like that, it makes me uncomfortable sometimes. I'm not a businessman at heart. I'm an artist. But I've done this on my own. I've started my own business and started making private house calls. And I created this business for it's not a business, it's a job. Because a business is something that runs even if you're not there. And that's not what I have. I have a job. If I don't go to work, it doesn't work, right? June the Groomer is me. And so the only reason why I'm doing this on my own is not because I'm some entrepreneur. It's because I'm an artist and I can't find the right restaurant to work in to create my art. So I just made my own place. So Cassandra, I don't know. I mean, I would just either figure out a way to do it on your own, do it the way you want to do it, or find someone who you resonate with. Find someone that does it the way you want to do it and work under them. Let's see. Hi, Kimberly. I'm from Australia too. Wow, Cassandra, you're from Australia too. Wow. Shoot, I'm pretty big in Australia. No, just kidding. Let's see. Mindy says, thank you, June. Oh, I'm from Australia too. Wow. I gotta make a trip to Australia. You know what I'm saying? I gotta make a trip to Australia. Kimberly says, thank you. Such a great tip. Golden Doodle tomorrow. Nice. Awesome. The Grooming Babe. I love that. Now, yeah, right? So my mom's friend made this for her. And she gave it to me. But yeah, it has like 2 little beads there. Has this tiny little jar that you can open. It has a cork on top. And so the lavender oil slowly comes out. It's almost like a diffuser, that cork on top there. It's beautiful. The dogs respond to it incredibly well. Now, like, there was a few nervous dogs that I groom, and I started wearing this. I mean, maybe it's a placebo. Maybe it's because I'm expecting this thing to work. I don't know. But, they say that dogs are incredibly sensitive to scents, to smell. They have such a powerful nose. So if I can smell it, I'm sure they can smell it too. Let's see. Buggy627. What is he implying by calling them Chinese and Japanese? So my father, he is an older Korean gentleman, and he despises Japanese people, and he thinks Chinese people are disgusting. It's just the truth. I'm sorry. My father is a racist. And I don't know. Maybe I sometimes, have those tendencies. Maybe, because I grew up as a child believing that Koreans were a superior Asian race. I mean, that's just how a lot of older generational Korean, not younger generations. I mean, if you talk to those, what is that big K-pop group, BTS, if you talk to the younger Koreans, they don't think that way anymore. But my father comes from a time where he saw Japanese soldiers come and, take over their country. My grandmother told us a story about one time Japanese soldiers came through her town in the countryside, and because a newborn baby, would not stop crying, the soldiers grabbed the baby by the feet and dunked it head first into a big barrel of soy sauce and drowned the baby in it. My grandmother saw this, witnessed it firsthand. It's because they've seen things like this. They lived through it. They witnessed it. A lot of older Korean people have a deep hatred towards Japanese people. And where the Chinese thing, why they think Chinese people are disgusting, I don't know. I asked my dad about it, and he told me it's because they eat anything. They eat bats, they eat bat shit, they eat monkey brains, they eat anything, spiders, like scorpions, whatever. And I'm like, I'm trying to explain to my dad, it's the culture, that's just how they lived, and that's their culture. It's not weird to them, But anyways, so the thing is though, he's almost 70 years old. You know, I'm not gonna change the man. I can't control him. But what I can do is become super aware of those tendencies that may have come down and trickled into my mind, you know, programming when I was a kid. And I have to catch myself sometimes when I think that Koreans are some kind of, you know, Koreans are better than Vietnamese or Thailand, or, you know, like, you know, thinking that Koreans are some, you know, better race than other Asians in other countries. It's just not right, you know. And so, you know, I mean, but that's you know, that's where that comes from. Buggy 627, and you can judge me, you can judge my father, you know, but it's really not going to change him, you know. All we can do, I think, is try to make things better for the future generations, so that they don't have to repeat those cycles, right? We have to break, we have to break the cycle of judging people, criticizing people based on where they're from or how they look, or thinking that we're better than another type of people because of the way they look or things they do. Malcolm Maltz said it best in the book Psycho-Cybernetics. You are neither superior nor inferior to anybody. You're simply you. Okay. Mary Royer, are you still married, still in Atlanta? Okay, I am still in Atlanta, but I am no longer married. I've been divorced for 3 years now. The first year was the hardest year of my life, and especially because there was a little bit of a rough time there because of me. It was my fault. I lost my temper, and I got angry, and I behaved like a monster. And because I wanted to hurt her, I was angry, and I wanted to hurt her. And my daughter saw that, and I think it shocked them a little bit. And my older daughter didn't want to talk to me, and for a good reason. It was my fault. And I remember there was a time that 3 years ago, that first year, where I really did consider taking my own life. And that was the first time I had ever really, it was like real, and it scared me because I didn't really want to. To be honest with you, I really didn't want to. But I just thought I thought it was the best course of action. My mind convinced me that the world would actually be a better place without me. And I remember I called the suicide hotline, and that really helped a lot. It was really rough. But then the second year got better. And now I'm in the third year. It's like, I got this. So if I can just give any suggestion to anybody going through a hard time right now, just give it time. Time heals all wounds. It really does. If you could just get over that hump, if you could just get over that difficult place, that dark place where you don't see any light, and you feel like you're lost in darkness, and you feel hopeless. If you could just get through that time, just get over it, and you don't even have to do anything really. Just continue to breathe. Just exist for a while. And give it time, and then you will eventually get through it. I promise you, I did, and I'm not some special person, you know? And here's the thing about just existing and breathing, just to take the pressure off. There's a YouTube talk by Tom Chi, if you want to look it up, Tom Chi. And I think that, I forget what the title of the speech was. I think it was like, Everything is Connected. That was the title of his speech. Everything is connected, and here's how. And he's a scientist, and he explains it. He breaks it all down. So he takes us on a little thought experiment in his speech. And he says, if you look at science, you know, millions, perhaps billions of years ago, there was nothing on this planet. You know, even the Bible says that. You know, even if you wanted to look at the Bible, you know, way, the earth was void, right, when God first looked at it. So he was saying the earth was, there was nothing here. It was void, right? Then, there was water, right? They believe the asteroids or something hit and everything, and there was gases in the air, and then there's water on Earth, right? Then inside the water started to form these tiny microorganisms, right? And he's saying there was no oxygen in the air. There was no atmosphere. All there was available was carbon dioxide. And so these tiny microorganisms figured out a way to metabolize the carbon dioxide by breathing it in. The carbon dioxide, it would metabolize it and then breathe out oxygen. And these tiny little microorganisms, millions of them, over millions of years, pretty much, by breathing in a tiny bit of carbon dioxide and breathing out a tiny bit of oxygen, over time, little by little becomes a lot, right? Over time, the accumulated effect of that, we got an atmosphere. We had oxygen in the air and things like that. And then he explained how those tiny microorganisms actually made it onto land and became the chlorophyll that we see in plants. Anyways, this was a thought experience he took us on. He said, imagine you are that one of those tiny little microorganisms billions of years ago. Imagine that you are one of them, right? You come into this world, right? You come into existence. Now all of a sudden you exist, and you take a few breaths, right? You breathe a little bit for about a day or two, and then you die. It would be easy for that tiny microorganism to think to himself, if he could think, or she. I don't want to be sexist. I don't want to be misogynist. It would be easy for that sexless organism to think to itself, what was the point of my existence? What was the meaning for me to even exist? Because I came into existence, I breathed a little bit, and now I'm dead. Now I'm gone. What was the point of that? The earth is exactly the same as it was when I arrived as when I left. I made no difference. What was the point? Tom Chi explains how that tiny microorganism, what he would fail to realize, or she, what he, she, what they, them, right? These pronouns. What that tiny microorganism would fail to realize is that just by existing for a few days and breathing in the air, the carbon dioxide, and breathing out oxygen, it played its part and added to the whole, so that now, billions of years later, we can all enjoy the oxygen in the air and the plants, right? That tiny microorganism played its part. It had its role. It had its place. Whether it thinks so or not, whether it thinks it made a difference or not, it did. Same thing with all of us. We are much more than the tiny little microorganism. But even if all you did was just come into this world, and let's say all you did was just breathe, right? You just spent time out in nature, in the woods, and you just breathed in the air. You interact with the plants, because every breath we take is mirrored by the trees and the plants around us, right? You're still interacting with this planet. You're still having a positive effect. And when you leave, even if you never even talk to a single soul, you may think to yourself, what was the point of my existence? I just lived and I died and I just breathed a little bit. Even that is important. Your existence matters. Now, why does that take the pressure off? Because it helps us realize, wow, all I got to do is just breathe. Just keep breathing, and you're having a positive effect on this world. You've already won. Now, why is it important to believe that we've already won? Well, I believe because it takes the pressure off and you get to have fun with your life. Here's why. There's a story that really made an impact on me. The story goes like this. There was a very popular professional figure skater. She was on top of the world. Everybody knew that she was the best. But because, she wasn't really, she didn't skate flawlessly like she planned and everything. She was pacing back and forth before it was her turn to do her last performance. And she's pacing back and forth nervous. Her coach sees this, and he knows that when you're nervous, you're tense. And when you're tense, you're not relaxed. If you're not relaxed, you're not going to be able to skate the way you would, the way you could in practice, right? So he gets an idea. He's like, I'm just going to lie to her. So he leaves, and then he comes running back. And he tells her, like, so excitedly, I just saw the judges' scorecards. You're so far ahead. Even if you went out there and bombed, you're so far ahead, you've already won. So he said, just go out there and just skate. He was like, you could even fall flat on your ass and you'll still win. You're the winner. After hearing that, you could see she's just a breath of relief. And she went out there and skated flawlessly. And she did end up winning. But she found out later that it was razor close. And she had every reason to be nervous. But because she was convinced at that moment that she already won, she was able to relax and just enjoy herself. Have fun, right? Take the pressure off. Same thing with your place in this world. You've already won. You're already here. You're already breathing. That's it. Now go have fun. Take the pressure off of yourself. You don't have to prove yourself to your parents, to your friends, to anyone. Take the pressure off. Do what makes you happy, right? Grooming dogs the way I groom them makes me so happy and fulfilled. When I drive home every day, I feel so proud of myself. And I feel so fulfilled and rewarded. And when I make a bow, I feel so proud of myself. I literally like jump for joy when I make a bow and it actually works and I shoot an arrow through it. When I shoot my bows even, when I go out to the archery range, it makes me so happy. You know, it's like, do what brings you joy, inner joy. And don't do it because you think it might impress others, because it won't. And that's not even the point. Try to impress yourself. At the end of the day, I told my 12-year-old this back when she was like 5 years old. At the end of the day, the only question you have to ask yourself is, am I proud of myself? Am I proud of the day that I had? And if the answer is no, that's okay. Because guess what? Tomorrow is a new day. Tomorrow's another chance, you know? And if it's yes, then that's all that matters. It doesn't matter what anybody else says. If the answer is yes, I'm proud of myself today. I'm proud of the way I behaved. I'm proud of the way I handled things. That's all that matters. Let's see here. I'm gonna try to catch up on these comments and then we'll call it a night. Paul McCartney. Paul McCartney, is that the real Paul McCartney? Probably not. What's up? Hello. Hey, June. That's not Paul McCartney. That's just the same name, but it's not the singer. Buggy627. It's hard to say where he learned in a country where our own president called it the damn Kung Flu. Horrible. Yeah, exactly. That little kid that said Wuhan to me. Yeah, exactly. You know, and that was the thing. I had to catch myself. My immediate thought was, here comes the racist parents. Where did he get it from? Probably got it from the parents. And then I asked myself, how do I know that though? I don't know that. That was me assuming and being judgmental. Okay. Let's see. Haha, June getting crunk tonight. Well, I'm off tomorrow. Joe Caruso says, whoa, late night. Yeah, it is. It is, Joe. If you're up, you know, either... I don't know. I don't know what's going on with your life. Mindy says, yes, please come to Australia, June. I think I will. I think I will. You know, I've always wanted to, though. I look at that big... What did I call that? The amphitheater? You know, anyways. I really want to go to Australia. APEA dog grooming. Would you ever open a shop and do the same you do, but at a location, like instead of client's house? Yes. APEA dog grooming, that is actually, you know, and I'm in no hurry. I'm in no rush. I love what I'm doing right now. I mean, because I'm kind of spontaneous, but I also crave structure as well. So I think this is a perfect combination for me, because every day I pretty much do the same thing, right? I follow the same process. I'm grooming dogs, but I'm always doing it at a different place. At someone's the location changes, the dog changes. I'm not grooming the same dog, you know. So it gives me enough variety where it still keeps it fun for me, and I never get bored of it, you know. But also it's different enough. It gives, you know, it has enough variety where I don't get bored, but it has enough stability and consistency to also satisfy that part of me where I get nervous if I don't know, you know, where my next gig is gonna come from, you know. So it gives me peace of mind, but also gives me variety. So it's gonna have to be something really good to pull me away from this, what I'm doing right now. But my next goal, like what I'm thinking, is maybe in about 4 or 5 years from now. I'm gonna try to open up, get a retail spot again, and set up a grooming shop, but also use it as a training center. And that way I can also, basically turn it into a school where I train groomers up and teach them how to groom and how to execute the haircuts, teach them all the mechanics, scissor technique, shear control, all of that, teach them breed standards, teach them how to hand strip, teach them everything. And then they can continue working at my shop if they like, or they can go work anywhere they want. They can open up their own business, because I wanted to teach them not just how to groom, but also how to actually earn a sustainable income with grooming. That way, I don't just teach them the skill, but I also give them a way to sustain themselves with it. But that's my next goal. Paul McCartney, South Korea is more bright and cheerful, while North Korea is more empty and depressing. Yeah, North Korea, the thing is, in North Korea, they control the people with fear. And if you are North Korean and you somehow escape the country and they find out, your family pays the price. They put your family in these concentration camps and torture them and sometimes kill them. That's why, no matter how bad it is, most people stay. Isn't that crazy? But yeah, North Korea, and I have a feeling that now that more and more information, more and more people are becoming more aware of what North Korea is all about, I have a feeling that in this decade, I don't think they're gonna get away with it much longer. Cassandra says, thank you, June. I did have my own salon. It was successful, and I could groom in alignment with my values. I believe that the dog is ready when the dog is ready. There are so many variables with dogs. Exactly. I had to close down due to unforeseen circumstances, and I had a big break from grooming while I had my children. I wanted to work with dogs again, and this position came up. It's been an eye-opener. Okay, and she said, Cassandra continues, says, I'm so happy you made that call to the suicide prevention hotline, June. The Earth experience is a wild ride. It really is. I'm glad you're still here. Thank you, Cassandra. Nice to be here. It really is. I really didn't want to do it, I'll be honest. And Cassandra, the thing is, I remember when I first started grooming, and I worked as a bather, the first shop I started at, I saw some horrible things. And I think that's what I needed for me to have such a commitment. I went out of business. I went in debt in the 5 figures. I was like in debt over $50,000. I didn't even know that I could even handle that kind of money. But yeah, I mean, I was in debt a lot, and I lost, But anyways, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, I still didn't quit. And then when I went out west, and when I went out to Arizona, and then Utah, and disappointment after disappointment, broken promises after broken promises, and people just not keeping their word and not being honest, and and I still didn't quit, and I think it's because had I not seen what I saw, I don't know if I would have had such a conviction to stick with it. But for me, I had to see it, because that made me decide I'm not walking away from this, no matter what. This is not something I can walk away from, But yeah, and talking about Earth experience being a wild ride, I actually made a speech at my Toastmasters club, and I took it to the international speech contest, and I won my area. Hold on, let me show you. It's the only meaningful trophy I've ever won in my life. But yeah, look at that. I won first place in my area division contest with this speech, right? But here's the catch. I was only competing against the clock. There was no one else made a speech that day, and so I basically just had to make the time, and I won. Anyways, it's a win is still a win, right? Anyways, just to give you a really quick, almost like a Cliff's Notes one sentence version of that speech. Welcome to Planet Earth, the greatest theme park in the entire planet. It's like Six Flags, where no one can tell you how to spend the day, right? There's no wrong way to spend your day at Six Flags. You can spend it however you want. You can spend money and play the games and try to win those big prizes, those big teddy bears and footballs and basketballs and things like that. Or you can spend your time standing in the lines, riding the rides you want. Now, certain rides are scary, and you're going to think that you're going to die, right? But that's why you ride the rides. To be scared, to think you're gonna die. That's the whole point, right? And that's why sometimes we go through experiences like my divorce. I thought I was gonna die, but that's the ride, right? Now, here's the catch. The way this theme park is set up, Planet Earth, it's a little bit different than Six Flags, where you can spend money and get prizes. There's all kinds of prizes you can get here. Mansions, yachts, castles. But the catch is, you can't take any of those prizes with you when you leave this theme park called Planet Earth. None of it goes with you. The only things you can take with you are the stories, the experiences, the memories. So my suggestion would be to prioritize your day, just like Six Flags. You can't ride all the rides because there are other people. You have to stand in line. It takes time. So prioritize. Choose what's most meaningful to you here on planet Earth. What experiences would mean the most to you? Then get in line and ride that ride, right? Now, I could, if I can make a few suggestions, I would try the friendship ride. I would try the falling in love ride. I would try to stay away from the divorce ride, only because it's really rough, and I really did think I was going to die. But that's the point. When we're done with our experience here, when we're done with our visit here on planet Earth, we get to meet up and say, hey, how did you like that ride? Did you try this ride? No, I'm going back. I'm going to try that one. Have you tried getting fired ride? I liked it so much, I rode it 4 times. Got right back in line. But yeah, welcome to planet Earth. No one can tell you how to spend your time here. There's no right or wrong way. And, the prizes here are wonderful, but you can't take any of them with you. So my suggestion would be to go for the experiences. Go for the memories. Do it for the story. Ride the rides. Welcome to planet Earth, the greatest theme park in the entire galaxy. I hope you enjoy your time here. Let me see here. LOLS. Yeah, be careful assuming genders these days. Yeah, I'll get myself canceled. A lot happens beneath the soil too. I like that. Yep. APEA dog grooming. Okay, yeah, I can see your point on keeping it interesting, but I wonder if it's harder on your body doing home grooms. I'm not sure if it's any harder. I think it's easier on my body because I get to take my time and focus on one dog. I think it's a lot easier on my body actually because at a busy shop, oh man, it'll run you down. I'm serious. Crystal Eyes. I have watched you for as long as you've been on YouTube. No way, right? I started in 2012. So you've been watching me for almost 9 years? Wow. Crystal Eyes. And the reason I do is because of your honesty, your gentleness with the dogs, and your lighthearted personality. I'm happy that you're here. Wow, Crystal. That means so much to me. Oh my God. Are you single? I'm kidding. See, I don't know why I have to ruin a nice, genuine moment like that with a stupid joke. It's because I do. Whenever I start to feel like a little uncomfortable and nervous, that's what I do. I gotta stop that. I have to stop that. I do it, I think, to escape the discomfort. But instead of doing that and ruining the moment, I feel like I need to practice more, just staying there and say, you know what, Crystal, thank you so much. That really means a lot to me. And I really appreciate you. And just let it be uncomfortable for me, and don't ruin it with another stupid joke. Mary Royer says, I need you as my therapist. I need therapy, trust me. APA dog grooming. Whenever you open a shop, I'm going to be your student. Wow. Cassandra Negri says, you crack me up. Thank you, Cassandra. I mean, I love making people laugh. I love making people laugh because it just, again, it gives me a rush. It makes me feel so good about myself that I can make people feel happy for a moment, It makes me feel powerful. You know what I'm saying? It's all about that power trip. Anyways, thank you guys so much. It looks like I caught up on all the comments. I really appreciate this because I really I really was feeling a little bit chatty, and I was like, man, I really want to feel some genuine connection with someone, with some people, but who am I gonna call at midnight? Which one of my friends am I gonna bother and say, hey, you still up? This is very nice, and it's an outlet for me. It's therapeutic for me. It's all about me. It's all self-serving. I'm incredibly selfish and self-serving. So thank you guys, everybody here, for coming and stroking my ego and making me feel so. I'm just kidding. Again, I did that because I started to feel uncomfortable. I'm sorry. What I mean to say is, let me think about this for a moment. How do I want to close this out? What I mean to say is, I never feel like I deserve, you know. I'm getting better at it though. I'm realizing now I'm never gonna feel like I'm enough, and that's okay. I can still accept the love and the and the kindness from others, even if I don't feel like I deserve it. I can still accept it graciously, right? But yeah, I think I listened to an interview. This, I forget what his name was. Let me see if I can look it up. But I really found it fascinating. He said that you don't have to believe in yourself in order to do the work, in order to be successful. Or what is that? Let me see here. What does it say? Okay, the title of it is. The title of the video is "Artists Don't Have to Believe in Themselves to Have Success," and I thought that was very interesting. So I listened to it, and the gentleman's name is Brad Rushing. I didn't know who he was before, but they're saying that Brad Rushing, he began to shoot high-end music videos with people like Britney Spears, Mariah Carey, Lionel Richie, and so obviously a successful person and a successful artist. But his speech, he was talking about how artists don't have to believe in themselves to do the work, to have success, and that's where he was talking about how he didn't really have a lot of confidence in himself. He didn't believe in himself, but he told himself, I don't have to believe in myself. All I have to do is just do the work that I've committed to do. And as he began doing the work, that built his confidence. So you don't have to start confident, and you don't have to start believing yourself. You can just start doing the work. And then as you do the work, and as you progress, and you make progress, and you make improvements, then you start to believe in yourself more and more. Isn't that amazing? But yeah, let's see here. IP, thanks June, this was fun. I had a lot of fun too. Thanks guys. Showbob says, hey June, I hope you're doing well. Showbob, I am doing amazing. Thank you so much, and I'm so glad you made it. You made it at the very end, so you missed all of it. Probably some of the most impactful gems, wisdom that I shared in my entire life, but you missed it. It's all good, Showbob. If that's how you want to live your life, whatever. No, I was kidding. I'm just kidding. Cicely Bega, you are awesome. Always so inspiring to see you and your great smile and energy. Thanks for sharing what you love to do with all of us. Cicely, thank you so much for being here and for those kind words and for being so encouraging to me. Really, you are the magic. If it was just me sitting here just talking, it would be so cringe. It's cringe anyways. When I watch this back, I'm gonna cringe. But without you guys, there would be no magic. So thank you guys for, let me put this down. What am I doing? Thank you guys, for real. And I'm just gonna close this out by saying what I always say in my podcast, because really there's nothing more special about me than there is about you. We are neither superior nor inferior to anyone. You're just you, and I'm just me. And all of us, we all matter. Your existence matters, even if all you do is just breathe. So take the pressure off yourself. There's nothing you need to do. There's nothing you need to prove. Just do what comes naturally. Do what naturally brings you joy. For me, spending time with my dogs out in the woods, out in the forest, taking walks, grooming my clients' dogs, making bows, shooting my bows, spending time out in nature, and interacting with people on my YouTube channel. Oh my God, this brings me so much joy. So yeah, I mean, just do things that bring you joy. I'm not doing this to try to get famous. I did. I'll admit that. I started this channel 9 years ago with fantasies and dreams of becoming famous one day. Now it's completely different. I don't want that. I don't need that. And I realize that if it ever happened, I may be miserable because I'm not built that way. So I wanted to just share, some of my thoughts. Thank you guys for being here. Ariel Pagan says, glad to know you're doing okay. Thank you, Ariel. I really appreciate that.